You're lying in bed right now, aren't you? It's late, the house is quiet, and your mind is doing that thing again. That thing where it replays every promise you made to yourself this morning. The workout you didn't do. The project you didn't start. The person you said you'd become by now. And somewhere deep in your chest, there's this weight. This familiar, heavy feeling that whispers the same question over and over. Why can't I just do it? You know what you need to do. You've known for weeks, maybe months. You've watched the videos, read the books, saved the quotes. You understand discipline. You understand motivation. You can explain it to someone else perfectly. But when it's time to actually do the thing, to take that first step, to follow through on what you promised yourself, something inside you just shuts down. And the worst part? You can't even explain why. There's no dramatic reason, no tragedy, no excuse that sounds legitimate enough. You just don't do it. And then you spend the rest of the day wondering, what's wrong with you? Let me tell you something that might hurt a little, but I need you to hear it. You're not lazy, you're not broken. You're not missing some special gene that successful people have. What you're experiencing right now, this inability to move even when you desperately want to, it's not a character flaw. It's something else entirely. And until you understand what it actually is, you're going to keep fighting the wrong battle. Because here's what nobody tells you about discipline and motivation. They're not the same thing, and the advice you've been getting, the just do it mentality, the cold showers, the 5 a.m. wake-up calls, all of that might work for someone whose nervous system isn't already exhausted. But for you, right now, in this moment, it's like trying to run a marathon when you haven't slept in 3 days. Your body isn't refusing because it's weak. It's refusing because it's trying to protect you. Think about the last time you tried to build a new habit. Maybe it was exercise. Maybe it was waking up early. Maybe it was finally working on that thing you've been putting off forever. You started strong, didn't you? Day 1, you were ready. You had energy. You had a plan. But by day 3, maybe day 5, that energy was gone. And it wasn't because you didn't care anymore. It was because something deeper inside you started resisting, started saying no, started putting up walls between you and the action you wanted to take. And you've been interpreting that resistance as laziness, as failure, as proof that you're not disciplined enough. But what if I told you that resistance isn't your enemy? What if that resistance is actually a message? A signal from a part of you that's been running on empty for way too long? Most advice about discipline treats you like a machine. Like if you just install the right program, set the right alarm, follow the right routine, you'll suddenly start functioning the way you're supposed to. But you're not a machine. You're a human being with a nervous system that's been through things, that's absorbed stress, that's carried weight you never asked to carry. And when that system gets overloaded, when it's been in survival mode for too long, it doesn't matter how many motivational videos you watch. Your body will not cooperate, not because it's broken, but because it's trying to survive. And survival doesn't care about your goals. It cares about keeping you safe, even if safe means staying exactly where you are. So when you try to force discipline on top of a system that's already overwhelmed, what happens? You might push through for a day or two. You might white-knuckle your way to some temporary progress. But eventually, that system fights back. It shuts you down. It makes you too tired to try. It floods you with brain fog and procrastination and self-doubt. Not because you're weak, but because it's screaming at you to stop, to rest, to let go of the pressure for just a moment. And when that happens, you blame yourself. You think you failed again. You think you'll never change. But you didn't fail. You just tried to build a house on a foundation that wasn't ready yet. Before I show you what actually works, I want you to do something for me. If this is hitting home, if you've felt this exact thing and you're tired of feeling like something's wrong with you, just stay here with me. And if you want more of this, more reminders that you're not broken, that there's a real way forward, go ahead and subscribe. Not because you have to, but because sometimes it helps to know you're not walking this path alone. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're not going to try to build discipline when you have no motivation. We're going to do something smarter, something that actually respects how your brain and body work. We're going to build the conditions where discipline becomes possible, because that's the secret nobody talks about. Discipline isn't something you force. It's something that emerges when the right conditions are in place. And right now, those conditions aren't there. So let's build them. First, you need to stop treating your lack of motivation like a problem to solve. It's not, it's information. When you wake up and feel nothing, no drive, no energy, no desire to do the things you know you should do, that's your nervous system telling you something. It's telling you it doesn't feel safe enough to try. It's telling you it needs something before it can give you access to that action-taking part of yourself. And what it needs isn't another pep talk. It needs rest, real rest. Not scrolling on your phone rest. Not binge-watching Netflix rest. But actual, deep, nervous system calming rest. The kind where you let yourself just be. Where you stop demanding performance from yourself for just a little while. I know that sounds counterintuitive. You want discipline, and I'm telling you to rest. But here's the truth. You cannot build anything on a foundation of exhaustion. You have to stabilize first. Once you've given yourself permission to stop fighting for a moment, we move to the second step. And this one's going to feel small, almost too small. But that's the point. You're going to choose one action. Not 10, not 5, 1. And it's going to be so easy that your nervous system doesn't perceive it as a threat. Because that's what's been happening. Every time you set a big goal, every time you try to overhaul your entire life overnight, your system sees it as danger. It sees it as more pressure, more demand, more proof that you're not enough as you are. And it shuts you down before you even start. So we're going to go under the radar. We're going to pick something so small that it doesn't trigger that defense response. Maybe it's putting on your shoes. Maybe it's opening the document. Maybe it's doing one push-up. Not 21. And you're going to do just that. Nothing more. And you're going to do it without attaching any story to it. Without making it mean you're finally getting your life together, or that this is the start of your transformation. You're just going to do the one small thing, and then you're going to let it be enough. Here's what happens when you do this consistently. Your nervous system starts to learn that action doesn't equal threat. It starts to relax. It starts to trust that you're not going to demand the impossible from it. And slowly, quietly, it begins to give you access to more energy, more capacity, more of that elusive thing we call discipline. But it doesn't happen because you forced it. It happens because you created safety first. Because you proved to your own system that it's okay to try. That trying doesn't mean failing. That small is enough. And over time, those small actions compound. Not because you turned into a different person, but because you worked with your nervous system instead of against it. You stopped treating yourself like the enemy. You stopped interpreting your resistance as weakness. And you started building something real, something sustainable, on a foundation that could actually hold it. I'm not going to lie to you and say this is fast. I'm not going to promise you that in 7 days you'll be a completely different person. But I will promise you this. If you start here, if you start with stabilizing instead of forcing, with one small action instead of a complete overhaul, you will start to feel different. Not perfect, not fixed, but different. A little less heavy, a little less stuck, a little more like maybe, just maybe. You can do this after all. You're not broken. You never were. You're just trying to build something beautiful on a foundation that wasn't ready yet. So let's build the foundation first. Let's give your system what it actually needs. And then, when you're ready, not when someone else says you should be, but when you're actually ready, the discipline will come. Not as a fight, but as a natural next step. And that's when everything changes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And remember, you don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to start where you are. One small step, that's all. That's enough. You're enough.